Recording audio and starting video now. Hello, this is Grant, and welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 2 Master Run. So, if we're finally going to get back to a little bit of the story missions here. I gotta say, I've played this, 3.5 times, and now watching it, it did start to wear on me. And some of the best missions, I think, are the story missions. That's why I'm always excited when I get to go do those. I also particularly enjoy this one. One Hit Wonder is an interesting scoop. And the wiki I was using to make sure I got all these times right, they actually had this time in as wrong. So I was really paranoid that I was going to miss it. So I was so thankful when I had this under my belt. Also, I do kind of wonder if this isn't meant to parody someone. Tell me if you know who this is supposed to be. I feel like it's meant to be someone, or like a mix of someone, or a certain type of actor, singer. I believe she's the only psychopath you can save in this game. Unless you count Snowflake, I guess. Snowflake's the exception to a lot of things. I think generally this one is one of the better design scoops. It reminds me of how in 1 there was obviously certain scoops like Kent, where obviously they had the idea probably pretty early on in development and just really fleshed it out over the course of the game. I think this one's kind of like that, where it's clear they knew what they wanted, so it got some extra special treatment. Like there's a little mini game at the end, just how the setup works, the fact that this one you have to have certain clothes for. It's pretty kind of interesting little thing. Or other mechanics like I have to lure in zombies. That's not used anywhere else, to my knowledge. I don't know how she learned how to operate C4 and completely wire it and stuff. I wonder where that came from. But I guess she just got it somehow. A little bit of a racy shot there. I'm always afraid, what if, that's what's something gonna get, censored just because, the game's showing something. It always concerns me. Or there'll be, some song in the background I don't hear, and then the whole video gets, taken down. Be a tragedy. I really like, there's a point up here, I believe, where he takes a drink out of that drink just to sip despite being in a death situation. I just thought that was a nice little, I'm sure, I've seen, for Dead Rising 1, they did these mocap things for all these animations. And I'm sure they probably actually put, a drink in front of him and stuff, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take a sip. And kudos to him for what is only a minor role. But, I mean, he might have played other characters in this game, but that's pretty funny. It's good acting. Just nice little sip. Then again, I could see where I'd want to drink if I was in this situation too. So we're going to use these firecrackers that they attract zombies. I'm not fully sure how they work. You'll see me tossing them out here because I mainly want to start getting these zombies aggroed, because it's going to take a little while for them to come over here. I think you can probably do it with just one firecracker. It just takes forever, and I was being impatient because we have to do a couple other things. I was really tempted to shoot that. I don't know how it responds. I do notice that they don't have the drink in front of him anymore. That one guy who talked to you. Bill's just he's along for the ride. This is all amazing to him. I don't think I mentioned it, but you have to get Bill to come with you for the know when to fold and scoop. You have to pay $20,000, and then he's like, "Can I have another $5,000?" Sure. I mean, it's not terrible. There's an ATM right there, so you're probably not going to be wanting for money. Maybe the 20,000, but it seems like if you made it through the entire game without making 20,000, probably not trying that hard. I don't know. I do not know the exact number of zombies you need, but she will tell you when you get enough. So that's pretty convenient. That should be oh, let's start. Otherwise, you have to keep checking with her. You can also, there's a girl tied up behind here who whose sole purpose is to give you hints for all these little exercises that you got to go do. We actually skipped the first portion where she asks you to wear this tuxedo, but if you grab it on the way, it's a lot faster. You essentially do 3 things. Tuxedo, you have to do all the zombies as a crowd, and then you have to go do this mini game where you just like DDR or Guitar Hero style hit the buttons as they come down.
I don't give my adoring audience what they want. The comeback tour everyone's waiting for. The big number. I might get a little angry if that happens.
Yo, man, just do it. Look, you can't be serious.
The game seems to lag a little bit around here, and I think it might just be because of some of the effects that they're going to do. Overall, it seems like they really did push the game. I don't know if it's just my 360, which I believe has seen a fair amount of action. But it does seem to lag, particularly in like big areas like the Strip, which is how many zombies they're rendering. Which is, it's fine in a way. I would prefer personally that they go for the performance over just the sheer numbers, because it only really matters like what zombies are immediately near you. The fact that they can render a whole bunch really far away, not so much. I like how Bill just followed me right down there. So we're just gonna do this mini game. I think I actually messed it up a couple times. It's really lenient. I wouldn't be surprised if you only need like an 80% success rate, and even then, like, there's a point where it quote unquote ends. Like as soon as she rises up, like you still get inputs, but I don't think they actually matter. I think you can completely just fail it. So I like how I wish they showed more like zombies. Like if they could have had the zombies like rave or do some specific animation that looked like that was still like canon, like they weren't obviously dancing, but I think it'd be a little bit funnier if they actually did something like that. So here, I'm pretty sure at this point, like I start missing one, I think. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like she's still like, oh yeah, you got it. Whatever. If it was supposed to be a comeback to her lifetime, I think she would pick a bigger stage. Like that rock show was probably bigger than this one. Gosh. There's another scoop where it's actually, I should have grabbed a queen before I came here, because you have to save her. If you want to save her, you got to get all these zombies off of her. The game's pretty lenient about who does and doesn't become a zombie. Like, I highly doubt that she would not have gotten bitten here. Like, really? But we're going to dive straight off and just destroy him. Luckily, there's far less zombies than there were before. me throwing that firecracker probably did not help. It'd be cool if she gave you C4, since she apparently knows how to use it. That would have been a really nice little unlock. Although, I guess, in most cases, the game considers you just saving them to be the reward. But I think the game could do with a little bit more replayability. Like, I like just kind of messing around in the game, but there's no reason to get into the game to do that. Because, like, the story's just like, eh. I said before, like, I'd say unlocks would be good, different difficulties, some better ways to change up the game. Like, particularly, like, I've been looking at doing a series I'm going to call One Run, where it's like what I'm doing with the other Dead Rising, like with 1, where, oh, beat the game with 0 zombie kills, or beat the game doing X, like some kind of challenge. And it'd be cool if they incorporated an idea like that, like, oh, can you beat the main story using only these weapons? And then the game would, like, support you, so if you're going to beat the game using only martial arts, and you, like, tick that mode for an achievement, then the game will not spawn weapons. It will spawn, like, maybe more food, or only, like, auxiliary stuff that you're allowed to use. That would be really nice, and I think it could encourage, like, really fun styles. I don't think it'd be too difficult. It would definitely require someone to go through and mess with a bunch of the spawns, as well as coming up with some cool ideas. Like, obviously, if you could quickly fall into a trap with just dumb ideas too. Like, I don't know, kill every zombie by throwing a fish at them or something. It'd be feasible. It'd be really annoying. So, what have you. If you have ideas on how to run this game, Please tell me below. Like, I think this game is kind of well suited for it, but I'm kind of wanting for ideas, or particularly good ideas. It's easy to think of something, but in practice, a lot of them aren't as fun as you would think. Or like a lot of times when I ask people for ideas, like I think back I used to do these for like Dark Souls particularly, where everyone would just have like it was just like a pissing contest about who could make the hardest run. And ultimately, it's like you can see this a lot if you're watching like streamers. It's like, oh well, this guy, he beat it using only his left hand. It's like, oh well, this guy beat it like blind first person mode. Well, this guy beat it with a Guitar Hero controller. Well, this person beat it like while he was upside down with a Guitar Hero controller and first person mode. And it's just like, eh. Like they're just kind of trying to outdo each other. And those are actually some of the cooler runs, but when I ask for like suggestions, usually it's just something like, oh, beat the game using just your fists. It's like, well, that's doable, but it just ends up being every boss is 30 minutes long. So it's not really fun to watch. Whereas on the other hand, like, I am really enjoying the no zombie kill run. That fundamentally changes Dead Rising so much. I can't wait to put that out here. Surprisingly, BB is a terrible survivor at escort. She seems to always get caught for me. And I don't even know if she'll take a weapon. Maybe she's just too proud. It seems like they should give her like a microphone stand or something, like a signature weapon she can use. Huh. Dang, I wonder, can you get basketballs in this game? I was playing Dead Rising 1 recently and I was trying to see if I could shoot a basketball into the hoops. But you can't actually get basketballs. You can get bowling balls and soccer balls, but you can't throw those, I don't think. You definitely can't throw a bowling ball because they have another action where you actually bowl it that overrides it. So, I believe the looters are supposed to serve as an analog to the cultists in 1, where they're less common, but they're there the whole time, but they still serve as a contrast to killing zombies all the time. You never see looters in this game because they're always in stores you never go in. Basically, that store right there is the only one you ever see that you fight. At least you do find them in the pawn shops, but like I never go in pawn shops either. Their weapons are just not good. It's like you can buy weapons from them and they're good combo weapons, like they're nice usually, but usually they have just like no relevance to where you're at. It's like, oh wow, there's this great outdoor weapon that I could buy indoors for this tiny little area with a bunch of survivors. It's ridiculous. I think it's just like a oversight. You'll notice like the reason I went into that sports store is to get a golf club for the Bentwood Scoop, where Luz, one of my favorite survivors, says she'll give you some more money if you go out and get her a new golf club because hers is all banged up from zombies. I think Luz is a professional golfer, or at least she was here for some contest. So we're gonna go help these guys. Honestly, the one-hit wonder scoop has some of the coolest looking survivors. I don't know if you've actually seen them. They're all like actors and stuff. So, or at least one of them is. And I guess you'd count BB too. BB Love. But like, look at his coat. I don't think you can get that for Chuck. Which seems like a waste. It seems like if you're going to put any outfit in the game, you might as well let Chuck get it. Like hell, let him get BB's outfit. That'd be interesting. That would probably flag my video. If BB doesn't, Chuck's would, for sure. Alright, so we're going to get this golf club out, and we're going to go say hi to Luz. I think she gives you like $60,000 and you get some BB. For some reason, this interaction's a little awkward, mechanically. Huh. That's actually a good, the comic I just got is an analog to the bullhead that I usually love to use. But getting a servbot and a mower, I don't really consider too feasible. I know there's at least one weapon room that has it, but yeah. So here we're waiting, and then it finally triggered its little reward mechanic. I'm not used to seeing those guys in there, and I always get concerned because I'll hear that talking. I'm like, what was that? Because usually, like when I'm recording, I play with it at like really low volume, so I can tell like there's someone talking somewhere faintly, and I'm like, what? And it wouldn't be in that security room because normally no one talks in there if you don't have that fucking bear. But yeah, it's kind of scary in a way. Like I said, normally when I run through on like a level 50, there's no reason to get those gifts. So we got to go up to the rooftop here to meet Rebecca Chang. We're going to do a lookout. I think it's supposed to be implied that you looked out for way longer, but I don't think any time actually passes when you do this, despite the cutscene being like you sitting there for what must be like hours. But we'll watch it. It's what, 14:37 left? I don't think I'll look at my watch after. I wish I had tested this. But fun little note is these little headlamps over here, spotlights, those are actually really good weapons. So that actually comes up in several situations that they're small, light, you can carry them on them. They're very dense. They're really good melee weapons. There's a couple situations, yeah, where it's important to know that. Particularly, actually, I think one of these upcoming ones is one of them. So here, we're just going to wait for the scoop to trigger. So yeah, I always like check the locations. Generally, I know where they're at, but I'm always just so paranoid because, like with Dead Rising 1, you could get in these situations where it's like, okay, now I can go do the scoop, and then you realize that there's no feasible way you can make it back. Like, make it back to the safe room in time. Well, then you have to essentially start over because, like, oh, I saved recently, and you only have one save slot that you can stick on, really. You can kind of fake that in Dead Rising 2 on Xbox because you can save to the cloud. Which is what I did originally, is I was going to save, keep my level 50 on my hard drive and my level. And always do the new runs on my cloud because I could clear that easily. But I messed it up because by default you always select hard drive, so I saved over it. And I lost my awesome save. So, but it worked out. I think I don't even actually have the Mega Buster unlocked anymore because of that. I saved over it. Which isn't too bad. Anything I'm going to be doing on Dead Rising 1, I don't need the Mega Buster for. Which, speaking of the Mega Buster, I'm kind of disappointed that they don't have an item like that in this game. Like, I get, it did make the game mostly trivial, but it was nice having that option. Like, so, say, hey, I want to go do a very simple run, but I want to get to overtime mode or something. Like, I want to get very late, but like I don't want to have to worry about stuff in the meantime. It's nice to just show up, do the case, fire it, and then I can just let the game run in the background. That's usually what I do when I was filming with other stuff. Like if I had like 3 hours to kill, I would just go do like some editing, and I just let the game run in the background to pass time. I'm actually kind of amazed that they don't have any inbuilt time passing mechanic. I think that is I think for high level play, that's a detriment because you know what you're doing. I think it's something that should be an unlock. I think the reason they don't include it, and I agree with, is that a low-level player would it'd be a way that for them to give up. Like, oh, I can't do any of these scoops. Let's just fast forward to the next story mission. And I think they want to discourage that, because if you can't fast forward, you're going to go out and actually play the game. For me, I'd like to be able to fast forward just because, like, I know I've done everything. Like, there's no reason for this time. But for low-level players, yeah, don't do it. Maybe it says, like literally I would have, like, a run like this be the trigger. Like, okay, hey, you've saved every survivor, you've done every scoop, you've, like, got the best ending, or maybe even you've gotten every ending or something. Here you go, you can pass time. That way you can kind of manipulate the game a little bit more.
We can't afford to miss this. If the twins are right and TK gets away in that chopper...
She finally shows up.
Here, I found these in the bunker.
In cutscenes, the time seems to be a little wonky in a lot of these games, actually. And a lot of these story missions. One thing I always like is they have a good record of making sure objects in cutscenes are there in actuality. Like this box here, or there's a scene in Dead Rising 1 where you're like waiting for Isabella, like in a similar situation, and they always spawn like a box for Frank to sit on. I think that's a good touch. Even though obviously, especially in that cutscene, it's like, why would this box be perfectly here? So.
I'm sorry, Chuck. Look, Hey, there it is.
I think this is a little out of context. Like, can you trust that reliable source? And then like there's this subtext like, that I just murdered an hour ago.
TK's getting ready to check out.
Like that seems like.
That bastard's not
Did you not remember that whole encounter where you fight? And then they're also so insane, one kills himself when the other one dies. Turns out to be true, but I don't know. Check your faculties, man. Like, there's a little. Chuck might be insane. Chuck might be the biggest psychopath of all. Like, to be fair, I think I made the point in one, like, really a lot of time Chuck doesn't. Not Chuck, Frank in the first game. Frank could totally be considered a psychopath. He attacks them unprovoked, or at least I do, because I know what's going to happen. Like, he seems like, I don't know, like, he just shows up like, oh, shoot, it's a psychopath, quick, kill him, before they do anything. And, like, for example, I was talking about, like, what, Adam the Clown. Adam the Clown never killed anyone. Like, he has, like, some bloody dolls, which I assume would just be from zombies, you know? And then, yeah, he tied up Greg. I mean, we know, because it's a game, that he was a psychopath. But realistically, like, looking at it, like, he never actually did anything. You know, for all I know, maybe he's like, it sounds like he turned the ride on just to keep the zombies away. So, I assume, like, maybe the blood's because a zombie wandered on the tracks or something, and that's his way of keeping them safe, is if they're on the ride, the zombies can't get to him. Maybe he was doing a good thing, you know? If you play the Frank West version of Dead Rising 2, you can actually fight Adam's brother, who recognizes you as having killed him, and goes on. I guess, since that's a thing, I believe the canon ending is you must have done every single scoop in the game. I mean, otherwise, they could theoretically pick and choose because, like, oh, did you save the one drunk guy? That's never going to come up. But I think it's canon that essentially every scoop occurred and you saved. Particularly because I don't think there's any scoops where it's like you have to like choose A or B. That's more of a Dead Rising 2 thing. It's too bad. I wish like they would mark like what is canon and what isn't canon. Like I don't know how. Like I've read several places that the overtime mode in this game is not canon, but I do not know what the source for that is. I assume it was like some interview that was done somewhere where it's like, yeah, they left it in for an interesting point, but it's not canon. But it also seems like if you're gonna do stuff that isn't canon, you should have more fun with it. Like spawn like some crazy situations or something, man. Well, another thing that would make this game really good as an unlock is give like the player the ability to control enemy spawns. And like let them unlock new stuff. So like let them have a scaler to choose like, okay, I want the game to spawn lots of queens or no queens. Spawn the super heavy zombies really early because I want to have a tough playthrough. Or I don't know, spawn several looters everywhere. I don't know. Or maybe I just want like a good infinity mode. I was like, in this game I was hoping to see like actually a good infinity mode that was you could realistically play without a guide you had to follow because that was the only way you could keep track of things. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Until next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.